Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, we got ranking the best small forward from every NBA team for this current NBA season. Video by Austin Sweatman. So I get so confused sometimes because, I saw the thumbnail of this video, I saw LeBron on it, and I was like, I thought he was a point guard. And I saw Luka listed as small forward. I thought he was a shooting guard. People telling me he's a point guard. So it's like, I don't know, man. Is Boban a damn small forward these days? I don't really know. So it's like we're just totally in a positionless basketball league where you have multiple lines with multiple different guys playing multiple different positions. But I think we have a general idea. It's like okay, this dude, we'll just classify him as that for this video, and we'll move on with our day, right, man? So here we go.
The best small forward from every NBA team. Now, I will say
LeBron
that it does get
James.
off to a bit of a slow start.
Number 1.
But things start to pick up eventually, so don't go anywhere.
Slow start?
Number 30. The Thunder and Terrence Ferguson.
Bro, that's T-Dog, but there's no slow start, man. Dang, that's a good start. Is he that bad? I thought he was really supposed to be a beast.
Surprised he stayed in the starting lineup as long as he has.
Hey, good for
but
him.
I guess the Thunder still have faith in his future. 29. The Wizards and Troy Brown. No comment.
Okay.
Then 28 goes to the Pistons for Tony Snell.
Yes.
Who's the definition of an average role player.
He really
But
is.
He does have something in common with Kawhi Leonard. Sadly for him, though, it's the fact that he seems also incapable of showing emotions. Cedi Osman
That's all right. He knocks down his three-point shots and he plays basketball at times. I don't know. He's fine. I don't mind Tony Snell. He's okay. Could be better, though.
27 for the Cavs. And anytime I rank Osman low, a lot of people say he's a lot better than he is, and that he should be ranked higher. And I don't know why he has so many supporters.
He's a meme.
Because to me, he's just a solid
He's one of those
player
meme
at
guys.
best. The Jazz take 26 for Joe Ingles. And Joe
Really?
falls down a lot of spots from where he was at last
I thought he was
year.
benched these
I went
days.
back
I
and
thought it was
checked, and
Royce.
I ranked him at number 12 last
Royce,
season.
Shaquille
Because
O'Neal.
that was when he was Utah's shooter in the starting lineup and played good in his role. But since Bojan has come along, he's doing a lot better in that role. So Joe's been moved to the second unit to be their energy off the bench. Not really doing a great job, but only
got that
averaging
Smeagol
7
look going,
points
man.
a game.
I always thought he kind of looked like
25
Smeagol.
for Rockets with Daniel House, who's been the guy the Rockets have settled with at small forward after they took years
Great
to try and fill
contract.
that spot. And House is stepping up so far, putting up 12 a game on 44% from
He's got a
three right
fantastic
now.
deal.
Then 24 was going to go to the Blazers for Rodney Hood, but since he just suffered a season-ending injury, and since I already thought Kent Bazemore was going to be a better fit in the starting lineup, Kent Bazemore takes a spot.
Either
Miles
one, okay.
Bridges takes 23 for the Hornets. And would you look at that? The Hornets not in the number 30 spot for a change. And as you can tell, like I said,
We
the
all
small forward
slept on
rankings are starting out pretty slow, but it does get better soon. As for Bridges, though, he's taken a solid jump in his second season, now averaging 13 and 5 a game.
I think it's safe to say, though, the small forward position just has, the biggest gap between, superstar talent and just, okay, you're Tony Snell. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Is there really any other, position out there like that? I'm sure there definitely is. But, it's you're
I don't
LeBron
see
or you're
him ever
Tony
being a
Snell
real
pretty
star
much.
or anything, but if he can turn into a 16 or 17 point a game scorer every night,
I always
it'd be
forget he's a
just what
lefty.
Charlotte
I always
needs.
forget.
And speaking of perfect fits for a team, that brings us to DeAndre Hunter at 22 for the Hawks.
Damn, Michael Jordan
And
put on
he's
some
just the
pounds,
type of player
baby.
Atlanta needed at small forward.
Oh my
For a
God.
fourth overall pick, he has had a bit of a slow start, only putting up 12 points a game. But for the potential lockdown defender that he is, and that the Hawks desperately needed, it's nothing to complain about. I mean, Atlanta was terrible on defense last season, and partly due to the fact that they had and
They need Marcus
still
Smart.
have no other great defenders. I like
They
what
need
Hunter
Marcus
brings to the
Smart.
table, though, and he ranks here for now, but I could definitely see him ranking a lot higher in the future. 21, the Spurs and Bryn Forbes. Alright, so I'll admit
small
I
forward?
messed up last video. DeMar DeRozan's playing small forward this year, but I'm so used to him being a shooting guard. I put him in that video's rankings without thinking about it,
Oh, okay.
even though he should be in this one. So to compensate for it, the only thing I can do is include Forbes in this video, even though he plays shooting
That's a
guard.
small ass
Then moving
forward.
on, the Bulls take 20 for having Otto Porter.
That's a mini
I mean,
forward.
I don't know what they got going on over there in Chicago. Otto Porter's having one of the worst years of his career.
Nobody
and
does,
so
really.
is Markkanen, even though both of them were supposed to break out this season. Porter's only averaging 11 points a game in the games he's been healthy for. I mean, he's still a solid defender, which brings him
The
this
damn
high,
head coach
but
is
they have to
garbage.
find a new coach or do something quick. 19, the Grizzlies and Jay Crowder. And Crowder's another guy that's known for being a great two-way player.
Bro, I thought he
It doesn't
retired.
really make sense why he's still on the Grizzlies at this point, but he has played solid as a starter for them.
I don't remember him
Then
since the
18
Boston
goes to
Celtics.
The Warriors and Eric Pascal. And the Warriors are the other team I messed up on when I put Klay Thompson in the shooting guard video without even thinking
Well, you
about
gotta put
it.
D'Lo
But
on here
it's
then.
a minor mistake, and Pascal's playing great as the team's small forward for the year anyways.
You
so
gotta put
he
D'Lo
ends
in
up
the
here.
small forward
And the
video,
man
then
said
I would
to be
say-
the
I would
new
think.
version of Draymond Green, and it makes sense why. I mean, he's outplaying Draymond up until this point, and has been one of the most surprising rookies from his draft.
He's literally the offensive, like something happened. Somebody did some sort of experiment out there, and once upon a time, Eric Paschall and Draymond Green were the same person, and somehow their soul got split into two. The defense, the rebound, the playmaking went to Draymond, and all of the offense went to Eric Paschall. I hear this dude's like a mid-range god or something like that. Is that true, Warrior fans?
Class. Let's not give him too much credit for now, though, because somebody has had to score for the Warriors while everyone's injured.
Hey,
but
give him credit for doing it.
Deserve a lot of credit is OG Anunoby.
Thought it was Stanley Johnson for a sec.
Because he got back his starting spot this season after Kawhi left, and he's like a mini version of him. It's clear he's still a young player, but it's also clear how good he can become. I mean, I know it's not sustainable, but we're a fourth of the way into the season, and the man's still shooting an incredible 47% from three. And while the rest of his offensive game is,
bro, you gotta hold your wrist more straight, man. You're freaking kinking it like that. My God.
I got no doubt that it's gonna develop in the next couple of years.
Quit kinking your wrist.
What I'm not too sure about though is Jonathan Isaac at 16 for the Magic. And what makes me skeptical about his future is whether or not he stays in Orlando. Because at this point, I'm convinced the Magic have no idea how to run a team. And it's safe to say that Isaac was pretty disappointing in his first 2 seasons, coming out as a 6th overall pick. But I mean, right now he stepped up and is averaging 13 and 7 while leading the league with almost 3 blocks a game as a small forward. I know he most likely won't keep up that pace,
he's lengthy as hell, my God.
For now. And I guess there is a small chance of it considering the fact that he's a 6'11 small forward, which also definitely helps him be as good on defense as he has been.
If I'm the Magic, I trade Aaron Gordon and I put Isaac at the forward spot. I just feel like that's a better position in the long term of things, and I get like a really good scoring wing. And that's your team. That's your team for a bit. Because, you know, Vucevic can score. Whoever the scoring wing is. You got Evan Fournier, who could be like a 17-point per game guy. You know, I mean, Markelle Fultz coming along at least, right? It's coming along pretty nicely.
Which has helped him rank this high. Moving on to number 15 with the Nuggets and Will Barton. And I've been surprised Barton's played as good as he has for the Nuggets for these past few years. He's really turned into a diverse scoring option for them as a starter, currently averaging 15 points a game. And on a team that's a real playoff threat, he's definitely playing good enough to be ranked this high.
Yeah, you prefer him off the bench though, probably.
Nets and Joe Harris. And Joe's continued to improve since last season. He's a guy that every single NBA team would want on the roster. Because as always, he can get open and shoot threes.
Apparently not the Cleveland Cavaliers.
But he's also come out this season much better at scoring off the drive when teams overplay him at the 3-point line. Of course, he's not the most athletic, so his defense does lack, but his offensive game is really starting to round out and make him the perfect team.
He's athletic enough, getting up.
Harrison Barnes comes in at 13 for the Kings. And Barnes has quietly been having a solid year, and it's what we've learned to expect from him at this point. I really see him as a player that has a role similar to what a prime Rudy Gay had. And it seems like he's been around forever at this point, but he's just now entering his prime.
He's the definition of overpaid but not overrated.
Level, but even without that, he still almost makes it into the top 10. Then 12 goes to Kelly Oubre for the Suns. And I talked about him in my most improved video. He just needed a change of scenery from Washington, and it made a big difference. I mean, they started Otto Porter over him for basically his whole career, and looking at how things turned out, that was definitely the wrong move.
And maybe it made him work harder.
No bench role and no Dwight Howard in sight, things are going good for him. And while speaking of Phoenix small forwards, that brings us to the former in TJ Warren for the Pacers at 11. Who averaged nearly 20 points a game for the Suns for the past 2 seasons.
Got traded for like 2 cents. He was never
taken seriously because he kept getting injured.
2 cents in a 7th round draft pick.
But now that he's staying healthy and putting up the same numbers on a playoff team, things are different for him and he ranks in just outside of the top 10. Then surprisingly, Marcus Morris ranks in at 10 for the Knicks.
Number one scoring option on the Knicks.
It does show how good Morris has been playing, but it also shows just how weak the small forward rankings are this year. And I don't have a ranking to compare him to for last season since Morris was playing power forward, which is the position I've always really seen him as. But I will say as small forward so far this year, he's been putting up 18 and 6.
I'd love having him back in Detroit though. I really would. Him and Markieff would be fine.
Those numbers aren't sustainable.
But this is looking like the best
personal year of his career, and it makes sense given the situation. But he still does deserve this spot. For a large part of his career, I'd say he's been inconsistent. One night he'll give you 30, then the next 2 he'll put up 10 points. But for New York, he's done a good job.
Yeah, he's what you call like a really good scoring role player. Like, yes, you're not going to be able to count on him like you could count on like Kevin Durant to drop you buckets, but like every now and then he's gonna have one of those games. So that's why the Knicks are doing so bad. Is because they are trying to treat him as if he is like a number one go-to player, and that's just not who he is. He's a great role player, one of the best in the NBA.
Putting that, and right now he's actually their leading scorer. Number 9, the Bucks and Chris Middleton. And Chris moves down 2 spots from last season where he ranked in at number 7. And not too much needs to be said.
Yeah, injuries
he
and
pretty
stuff
much played the
bring him down.
exact same as last season, and it's disappointing that a dude with a max contract doesn't look like he's gonna develop too much more. But I mean, the Bucks are still winning games, and he's playing his part in that, so I guess you can't complain. And Gordon Hayward takes number 8 for the Celtics. Alright, again, I don't have a ranking for Hayward because Jason Tatum took the small forward spot last season. But before
he was out last year.
Ever since Hayward reclaimed a starting spot,
smashed
he was
up
playing
ankle,
like his old
unfortunately.
self, putting up 19,
looking good now,
7,
though.
and 4 a game. And I had doubts we'd ever see him play like that again, but with the help of Kemba he is, and let's hope he goes back to that after this injury. Then we have number 7 in Tobias Harris for the 76ers.
He's been a disappointment, I've heard.
I also don't have a ranking to compare Tobias to, because last year he played power forward. But now with Horford on the team, he's gotten to play small forward, and that's the position I think he fits a lot better in.
Is he doing better
While
these,
he is
like,
still playing
as of
great,
late?
we might be able to give up on the hopes of him becoming an all-star, at least for now. I mean, he's consistently averaged 18 a game since coming to Philly, after
That's
it
not
looked
bad.
like he was breaking out for the Clippers. And part of the reason he was brought in was for his 43% shooting from 3, but now he shot around 31% from 3 since the trade.
Yikes.
Solid fit for Philly, but not developing like he was expected. Then the Wolves have number 6 for Andrew Wiggins, who's still keeping up with his hot start for the most part.
So proud of this man Wiggins right here, guys. We all doubted this man. I know there's people in the comments saying I never gave up on Wiggins. Yes, you did. You gave up on him a little bit, and now just look at him, guys. Look at him get that bucket over this man like this.
With him still averaging
Look at that.
25 a game. Robert Covington
What you want? Get my fucking
ranked
way!
small forwards last year, while Wiggins played shooting
I'm so
guard.
happy for
But
Wiggins.
I can assure you this is a huge jump from where he would have ranked. There's been a lot of talk that Wiggins won't be able to keep this up, but I got faith. And if he does,
Yeah,
the
shut them
future
haters up,
once
Wiggins.
again finally bright for him. But if he doesn't, we could probably move him just outside of the top 10. But speaking of huge improvements, that brings us to number 5 with the Pelicans and Brandon Ingram. And alright, Ingram's the last one we don't have a comparison for because he played with LeBron last year in LA, and that was a big reason he wasn't
Yeah,
able
he played
to play
like
as good
shooting
as he
guard
has
and
this
stuff.
year.
Kinda weird.
It's nothing against LeBron, but there's a lot of pressure that comes with playing with him. And being able to play with next
That
to
is
none
something
this
against
year
LeBron.
on a team that's truly his.
Like he says, nothing against LeBron, but that's literally something against LeBron that people just have been saying this entire career. It's like your numbers tend to go down when you play with the king. I mean, that's just how it is, but maybe that's how it should be too.
Especially without Zion on the court. has
LeBron should be the
clearly
number
been
one
huge
option.
for his confidence. I mean, he's really playing the same style he was last year. He's just doing it a lot more aggressively.
And
that
efficiently.
brings us to number 4 with the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler, who's in the same spot that he was last year. And it's the same thing as always with him. He's a leader on both ends and flat out makes his team
Damn, I can
better.
feel my
He did it
hamstrings
with the
popping just
Wolves,
looking at that
and now
workout.
Miami, who he's helped to the 3rd seed in the East
Feel these
so far,
hamstrings
compared
popping.
to last season when they missed the playoffs completely. Sure, the team has more help this year too, but the biggest factor is definitely Butler. Then there's Luka Doncic for the Mavs at number 3, who was ranked in at 8 a season ago. I mean, for even as good as he's played though, there's no way he's making it into the top 2, but top 3 is still phenomenal for the 20-year-old. And by this point, there's no way this is just a fluke.
He might get MVP.
We're a fourth
He
of the
might
way
get
through the
MVP.
year, and the man's basically averaging a 30-point per game
Oh my God.
triple-double. Not even to mention leading the Mavericks straight into the playoffs, compared to last year when they had the 7th worst record in the NBA. I mean, I've never seen a player peak in their 2nd season, but really, where could this man go from here? Then the Lakers take number 2 with LeBron.
LeBron at
James, and
2?
he's down 1 spot from the number 1 spot. In
So that means
2018
Kawhi
and
number
19.
1, right?
I mean, I have no words. 25 and 11 as a point guard in season 17. I've said it before, and the only thing that's going to slow this man down is an injury. Otherwise, he's still in MVP talks, and is honestly playing some of the best basketball of his career. Then, while he may not be as flashy in the regular season, we still have to give number 1 to Kawhi.
Why do we have to
Leonard
give it to
for the
Kawhi?
Clippers. And this is compared to the number 3 spot from last season, where he was just behind Kevin Durant and LeBron James. And I know it may be an unpopular opinion at this point, and I understand why. The Lakers have a better record, and LeBron's averaging better stats across the board.
And no load management. Like LeBron's been playing, been playing his heart out.
But
So
don't
and I love
forget
Kawhi.
so quickly
Love
about
Kawhi.
Leonard in the playoffs. The same thing happens every year, which is why he's never in MVP talks. People downplay him all regular season, and then the playoffs come around, and so do the discussions about him being the best in the league. So I'm keeping him at this number 1 spot. And that's going to complete the
I mean,
list.
that's fair enough. Like I think LeBron's been playing like number 1 right now. But that's just my opinion on that, guys. Overall, I would say these small 4 rankings, I think they were pretty accurate. No, there was like nothing that really made me mad or anything. Like Tony Snell, I ain't gonna get pissy about that because yeah, he definitely one of the bottom ones in the NBA. But guys, give me your thoughts about this in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.